Well, the main advantage of Slovenia is that it's difficult to find a country with so many enthusiastic, passionate, creative, and competitive, people and entrepreneurs. Because Slovenians, we are extremely competitive. Yeah. Just look at the, let's say, in the sport. Just look at the some culture things. Just look at the extreme sportists. We are per capita for sure, on the top. But everybody in Slovenia knows, for example, I'm saying this many times, but it's attitude, as Mayor said. It's will you ever hear the Dutch people, anyone Dutchman saying we are small? Yeah. Too many of us are educated and socialized. That we are starting or saying, we are a small country. We are small nations. You will never hear, this from Denmark, from Netherlands, and that's the perception. And you don't hear this in the business, because in the business, we are competitive. We want to be number one, in all these things. And this is a big advantage of Slovenia. And we work, Studio Moderna is successful because we are exploring a lot of this know-how from the companies, local companies, in design, in technology, in many different places, and selling this globally and around the world. So I'm a mentor of the 5 to 10 entrepreneurs every year. A lot of them, they're also contacting me via emails, etc. And I see a huge potential and huge energy which is in Slovenia. And for this reason, Slovenia is still doing okay. Still, we should not be too pessimistic. There's no reason for pessimism. The only problem is that whatever great Slovenian companies can produce, the political parties can destroy much faster. This is our biggest competitor.
I would like to put you in another role. What I would like to suggest to you is, I'm not sure it's your, the biggest dream you have or the nightmare. From tomorrow on, you will be the Prime Minister of Slovenia. You don't have to answer the first thing, by the way. Talking about mindset change, where would you start? I mean, with all the experience that you have in a business, changing mindset, that's what it's all about, getting people to behind your ideas. You're the Prime Minister. How would you do it in Slovenia?
Well, to go through this nightmare, okay. Well, it's actually very easy, I advised once one person who asked me about some different things. I said, I'm not going to comment those things, but would like to give you only one advice. Bring around yourself the companies which are creating new value. Let's say mainly exporters. Rely on them. And he asked me, and what I'm going to say to them? And I said, nothing. You don't need to say anything. Just listen to them. I am asking regularly entrepreneurs, who are publishing newspapers for great innovations, successful CEOs of the export companies. Have you got any call from any politician, from financial minister about this, from the Minister for Economy? Nobody. It's a wall. You just see lobbyists, and you see only lobbyists around, who are just taking the money around politicians, or just taking the money that was created by those who are creating a new value. So actually, it's very easy. Personally, it's very, very easy. You don't need to do nothing else but just to listen and to rely on the people who are today, who created this success story of Slovenia. Because, we are saying 20 years of success, but now I will be very provocative, because I like to be provocative. These 20 years of success on which Slovenia got this image was based on the companies like, Krka, Gorenje, Elan, Kulinska, etc., etc. A lot of great stories. But sorry, all these great stories were established during the socialism. How many great stories have we created in these 20 years? And that's the problem, That's the problem of Slovenia, because construction business, which is full of affairs, it's not a success story. And when I was, and what is the role of politicians? I was last year at the reception Downing Street 10, invited by British entrepreneurs. And David Cameron said, 3 things his government is on the mission. One is, okay, in terms of which would be relevant for entrepreneurs and small business. One is, okay, to create a good financial incentives and position, but said everybody around the world is doing this, so we cannot do something really special. That second important thing, which should be number one for Slovenia, and we will have immediate change, immediate revolution, positive, is transparency. Transparency. In UK, every citizen, every taxpayer can see down to the few thousand euros what government spends for on internet, online. Transparency. You know, we don't know in Slovenia, two governments are just, you know, wondering now whether on the biggest project probably now, you know, financed by the government in energetic sector, whether, you know, 200, 100, 300 millions will be lost, you know, or gone to nowhere. And the first thing he said, we have to give public assets, you know, from information to the tangible, from intangible to tangible, to be available for entrepreneurs, to open them. Very simple. Because we have such a, let's say, bad image about ourselves. Let's say, when I go abroad, I always say, in Slovenia you have, probably we are among the most successful countries by making foreign investments work. Because, you know, despite of all the crisis situation that we have in our companies and which are, let's say, under government control, but if you look for investments and if you look independent companies are all very successful.